If you're looking for coins to finish off FC24, I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable. But make sure to use the code GTT at the end of checkout for 6% off every order. So we've got ourselves another Gamble SBC. It is an 89 and an 88 with a team of the season or team of the week in the second one, in the cheaper one, which is always nice. And it could potentially get you a new player pick. Now the question is, there is 2 of them to go. How do you grind them? What's the best way? Because we guarantee we're going to get more like this. It is a 93 plus great to the game or Futties team 1 or team 2 icon player pick. Now, when it comes to this, it is a 1 of 3, so it's going to be one of them, and it is repeatable twice, I believe, and that's a Futties batch too, I was going to say. So we've got 2 different squads to get done. When it comes to the team of the season or team of the weeks, we are now into a point where we do get quite a few team of the seasons, so you are able to actually grind them out without actually necessarily having to go for the team of the weeks. It's kind of like the perfect formula because you can just get so much high rated fodder from all of your upgrades. It is perfect. So I'll show you the way that you basically can get this done for literally nothing. The whole point is to grind this game out now with absolutely no coins spent. That's going to be an 87 team. I forgot that it was an 88. Can we drop this up? And the best thing about this is, instead of going for any of them other golds, just go for any of these players. Like, this is the whole point of having them. You can put an 88 in that's a special that more than likely you're going to get back. So this is going to be my first one. Let's have a look and see who we get and see if the second one is worth it. It is Team 1, Team 2, or great to the game. I have not had a good one since. Can we get a good one now? Yeah, no, we can't. And this is kind of the reality of it. You are looking for the big boys now. And the best thing is about it, you can go and put him into another upgrade. That's kind of the whole point now. And to be honest, I might not be able to do this video again. So we're now not fully broken. I say that as it's still not loaded. We want to be grinding fodder. So the first one wasn't necessarily the greatest, but all we can do now, and this is why you normally want to get a bit of fodder into your club already, is we can just go ahead and put that 95 straight back in. So that's absolutely no problem. We'll go special and centre back. And hopefully he'll be on the first couple of pages. You can tell because he's the only one, well, he's the only one out of these bunches we've had and not found. So we can put him back in. That's a 95 that's going to be really good to help with an SBC. So what we're going to be doing is just putting in a load of specials because the 89s, as much as it's not necessarily a big SBC to do, you just want to make sure that you've got a few of the higher rateds in so you don't have to put in so many of your golds. We can obviously go with a lot of these specials that we are going to get multiple times. So get a flex between a couple of the 86s, a couple of the 90s. Obviously I don't go too high because I want to be able to put in a few players that are not necessarily crazy high rated. So we've got a 90 rated team there. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to put a couple of 86s in and just sprinkle them across the top. So we're not going to go and get rid of too much high rated. You want to make sure that you are obviously putting in to the point where you are not necessarily overspending just yet. Once we get into like the real bits of footies where cards are just flying out, then obviously we can kind of grind it a little bit more kind of, I don't know, not necessarily being so tight, I suppose. You can then just go ahead and put a couple of 86s in. It really doesn't matter. So that's in the first squad done. So that's already what was in my club. So how do we get there? That's going to be the big question everybody's going to have. So we're going to open up these packs. And the good thing about anything that is tradable, there is a chance of a special card. And this is where we do get some nice coins back if you do manage to get something. I'm not saying you get it every time, but anything that's tradable now, regardless of the kind of rating, unless they're like 87 and above, they just get discarded. We get an extra 2.7k back there. That is the whole point of this now, is to just grind out as much tradable stuff. So anything with a double SBC to get the reward, but then also to get the tradable pack just to discard it. You basically get 2.5 to 3k back guaranteed off these, which is always perfect. And the second SBC, I can imagine, is going to be, yeah, mixed players. So likely chance, very, very unlikely of anything nice. So anything that's tradable, just discard it. Get rid of it unless it's worth any amount of money. Get rid of it and then you'll get some coins back at the minimum. So, once you've obviously gone through your preview pack, then you want to be looking at the daily login, because that's always nice. It's going to give you an extra little bump of some golds just for a bronze player. So that's just a 6 PM magic. Get that done. It's a nice 83 times 2. I don't know what day we're on, if we actually get another one yet. Did we get another one? No, surely we're on it. I was going to say, I'm sure we're on another one now, because we reset it, so we get an 84 times 2. So this is going to be where we're going to get some bits of fodder as well. It's not going to be loads, and most definitely there is the lovely crafting upgrade still available to be able to do. So that's going to be a perfect one throughout this week. So in this one, we're going to get gold, not too fussed unless it's a special, and it's going to be 83s. Now, obviously, you can kind of do every duplicate no man left behind sort of thing, but for one card, I'm not really that fussed. The next one's going to be a gold as well. Weight is a little bit low today, and it is going to be 85 and 84. So nothing too crazy there worth keeping. So once you've done that, you've got your daily login done. I would normally go to the daily golds, depending on how much you are grinding, just to get a few more golds into your club. So that is going to be another good way. So if you go to your upgrades, you've obviously got the player picks, you've got the 84 times 10s that have gone, and then you've got the, if we go all the way to the back, the daily gold upgrade. So this is going to be, you can complete it 10 times. All you've got to give up is a bronze and silver SBC 10 times. Doesn't have to be rare, so that's even better. And you'll get 110 daily gold players every single day. So you'll end up with 10 rare and 100 gold common. There is special cards that are available in there as well. Doesn't happen every time, but there is special cards that you could get. Then you will go into the Futties crafting upgrade with that and do as many as possible. The obvious goal is to try and get all 160 done for all of the objectives. Plus, you do get a 77 times 5 back as well, which is not the worst thing in the world. So obviously that's going to be number one shout. Get all of them in, and 110 should give you roughly around about 10 SBCs. That's pretty self-explanatory. With obviously that back, you get the 77 times 5. You should then get another 5 back, give or take, adding a few players and also taking a few players away that are worth not putting back in. So you might get some specials out of this. I think I've had a couple of Futties out of it. Plus you get a couple of 83s and 84s, which is always nice. So that's going to be what you get back. So every 10, you could say do like 13 or 12, depending on how good your luck is. And that's like 2 or 3 for free at the minimum. Once you've done that, you then obviously have got the objectives to grind through. So with that live upgrade, once you're finished with it, you can either go and do the 82 player picks, or you could do League SBCs if you really wanted to. So, for instance, we've got 2 left to get to 90, so we might as well do that now. But the other way of kind of getting them, once you've done your daily golds and then you've put everything into Futties, is by utilizing the exchange. So that's going to be a very good way to grind as much as possible for very little coins, which is very nice indeed. So I'll show you that as well, because that is the way that I've kind of gone through loads of Futties upgrades so far. And to be honest, I was kind of keeping it cool because I didn't want to get SBC banned. So that's going to be the 2 done there. So we get the 87 times 3 for completing 90, and we've got 70 more to go. So if we have a look at this, the next one will be an 84 times 10 times 5 times 10, 87 times 2. We get an 83 times 20, and then we go all the way to the bottom and we get an 84 times 20 as well. So that's going to be crazy fodder for all of these SBCs as well. So that's kind of like the overall gold we're looking for. So if we was to look into this, let's get these 77 times 5s open first. So, well, I mean, okay, that unfortunately did happen. It is going to be a Futties though. We're going to get, is that Sanchez? Oh, Sanchez went to wildcard to start with. And who is the Futties? Be Pele. I don't know the difference between the icons. If it is, it's going to be Kondogbia. Very, very nice. He's one that I haven't got, so just part of the collection. So already very, very nice. But then we can utilize these in SBCs. Obviously, Kondogbia can be used in SBCs if you want, but personally, I've been trying to collect as many Futties as we personally can. Now, with the 77 times 5s, normally there is a pretty good weight on them as well. It's like, for instance, we get the 88 there. They're not necessarily kind of trash upgrades. It's been a really decent weight throughout this week, and even last week wasn't terrible as well. So we will just continue the grind to get in as many players. So for instance, say that's my final one done. I've got no more golds. I've re-rinsed all of these in. The way that I would get more cards before the next 6 PM, so for instance when we get the 10 gold upgrades again, is by just just going out and doing the exchange once more. So for instance, to start with, I would go with the 89. So any fodder you want to be whacking in these, I would personally start with the 89 if you've got absolutely nothing to put in. So what we can go with here is, for instance, Sanchez is very, very obtainable. So we're going to whack him in first. It doesn't matter if they're 91, 92, 93. As long as the value is low and you know that you can get them a lot, then just whack them in. There's no kind of prizes now for putting in just 89s. You can do if you want, but I get Sanchez quite a lot, so we can grind him through. So the 51 player pack, sometimes you can get specials, sometimes you don't. We are going to get a special in this one. It's going to be German right back, and it's going to be from, I want to say that's not Freiburg, is it? We're going to get a 89 right back. So this is the best bit about them, is I think we're just going to get one. So we get one upgrade there. Obviously we'd put them 5 into a lovely 77 times 5. But what we would go for from there, if this wants to work, is I would then, you could probably gather this, I would take then that 89 and put her back into that upgrade again. So then I've got 102 players, or 101 because I've technically took one out, and all of them can be utilized. If I've bought that 189 11,000 coins, I've now got 2 for the price of 1, and then you could keep going. Sometimes you get multiple. I think I've had a streak of 5 89s from them 89 exchanges, and then it's just been like an 87, an 85. Sometimes you don't get lucky. It is just luck of the draw. But then once I've done that, I would then go ahead and do more Futties upgrades. I would then continue the grind into the 84 times 10s. Any of the upgrades comes out, and also back in to that 93 times 10, or 93 great to the game pick. So we'll finish off that, and we'll get the last pick just before now. And there we go. All done with that second SBC. Let's see what we get in this final one. And more than likely, you'll end up with just more duplicates than you can go with, but it is the whole point of the grind. Give me a good one. Give me a Futties. Well, again, another high-rated one at a minimum.